Welcome back for another video. Who are the best transfers for Gameweek 15 and beyond? In this one we're going to break it down by position, looking at which players are projected to do the best, courtesy of FPL Review's projections. It's a double upload today, so make sure you subscribe to catch this evening's video as well. Starting off with goalkeepers then. There's actually a lot to think about here. Many of us have got Areola, who is away to Spurs, and many of us have got Turner, who's no longer a starter. There's two 3.9mm goalkeepers here, Kelleher and Dubravka. The ship has likely sailed with Kelleher. There's a fair chance he only plays 2 or 3 more game weeks before Alisson's back, and Liverpool were clearly missing him against Fulham, having conceded 3 times at Anfield. Dubravka, on the other hand, could be set for a run of games after Pope went off with what looked like a dislocated shoulder versus Man United. Pope dislocated the same shoulder in 2018 and he missed 3 months then. However, we don't know how long he'll be out at the moment. It could be much less. They don't play until Thursday either, so we might not get that information before the deadline. There are rumours though that it could be 4 to 5 months. What we do know is that Areola and Dubravka is a solid goalkeeper rotation. We talked about it in depth in yesterday's transfer plans video, which I highly recommend watching as well. Newcastle are away to Everton in Gameweek 15. Right tops the goalkeeper projections this week with 4.4 points. They're away to Luton on Tuesday night. After 15 game weeks, Arsenal still sit top in the league for expected goals conceded with 11.3 XGC. Next best is Man City with 12.3. Only 11 goals conceded is 3 better than any team as well. Raya is only 4.9mm, so an excellent transfer this week, and he was unlucky to concede against Wolves last game week, following a mistake by Zinchenko. Ederson's a hard avoid given the upcoming blank in Game Week 18, unless you've got a backup keeper. Flecken's in the same boat. Pickford's projected 3.5 points, and he deserves a mention as one of only 3 keepers to keep a clean sheet on the weekend. And we gave him a lot of stick for the complete lack of clean sheets earlier in the season, but he's doing much better recently. He's only 4.4mm, so a cheap one to think about, perhaps if you're looking at a wildcard. Everton are actually 7th best for expected goals conceded this season. Looking at defenders, Trent's top this week with 5.6 points projected. The difficulty for a lot of us is obviously finding the way to afford him at 8mm. He's really found his stride lately with 2 goals and an assist in his last 2 games. And a clean sheet the week before that, so 28 points in 3 game weeks. If he's an option for you, away to Sheffield United looks like an almost certain clean sheet and massive upside for potential attacking returns, and Heckingbottom reportedly is going to get sacked today. Gomez came on in right back against Fulham to completely relieve Trent of any defensive duties in that position, and he scored a class free kick against Fulham, which ultimately went down as a Leno own goal after bouncing off the crossbar and into Leno's back and then in. Saliba and Gabriel are both projected 4.6 points away to Luton. 0.6mm separates the two now, though stepping back 5.5mm still great value for Saliba for the points he'll put up over the season, and he is surely a season keeper. Some are questioning whether Arteta gives Kivir a game in centre back next match. It is possible, but it's probably likely that Gabriel plays again. If you can afford Saliba, he is the nail pick. Zinchenko also a great pick. He got an assist against Wolves last match, and he'll be key to helping unlock Luton's low block. Tomiyasu came off reportedly with fatigue, so we might see White starting the next one in right back, but Tomiyasu and White are rotation risks, so avoid them. Tsimikas is another one whose position in the 11 is under question, having played 90 minutes the last 3 in a row, and they play on Wednesday before another game on Saturday. Worst possible turnaround for Liverpool. If you have him, you play him, but he's perhaps an avoid for transferring in now. Very good chance he misses one of the next 2. Pedro Porro is perhaps one of the best defender transfers right now. He's exactly what we need at the moment. A nailed defender, decent fixtures and attacking threat. Spurs are home to West Ham this game week. West Ham have conceded 140 crosses down their left flank, which ranks 3rd worst in the league, Pedro Porro's side. Newcastle are away to Everton on Thursday. Trippier projected 3.6 points. He's still 1 yellow away from suspension, which is something to keep in mind. We're still yet actually to get a clear answer from Hal on Botman's return, so Lascelles looks perfectly fine to transfer. Livramento has been quality recently in left back, but a bit riskier given Hall is an option at left back for Hal. Lastly, the Wolves defenders just miss out on making the table but need a mention: Kilman, Dawson and Semedo. It's worth mentioning they're home to Burnley this week, and the next weekend they're home to Nottingham Forest, so a nice pair of back-to-back home fixtures, and they'll set you back about 4.5mm. Let's have a look at the midfielders. 2 players clear in front here, Salah with 7.9 points and then Son with 7. Let us know in the comments who your captain is for this game week. Salah, Son and Haaland are 3 obvious picks. It was a close one last game week. In the end, the winner of the coin toss was Haaland, but only by a matter of 2 points with his 7-pointer. Perhaps not as close this week. Salah's top among all players on the projections. Sheffield United sit rock bottom of the Premier League table. 39 goals conceded is 7 more than any team, and their 31.3 expected goals conceded, also worse in the league. 177 shots in the box, also worst. Salah's bound to find himself taking a few shots in the box himself. There's all potential here. If you haven't got Son, he's a good transfer this week, home to West Ham, and he also faces Forest, Everton, Brighton and Bournemouth in his next 6, though he does have Newcastle next weekend. Saka's third on the midfielder projections this week, 6.2 points. Over the next 5, Son is projected more though, about 4 points clear. And Mbeumo faces a depleted Brighton side, and it's not too late to pick him up. Just ensure you've got a plan for Gameweek 18 when he blanks. Either side of the blank, he's got an excellent fixture run, as still only Haaland and Salah have registered a better expected goal involvement this season. Some players not listed here that are worth a mention. Gordon with a 10-pointer last week, currently yellow flagged. How when asked about the injury said, "I don't know at this moment in time, hope he's okay. He just said he was feeling a tightness in his hip, so fingers crossed it's nothing serious." Unless we get a clear update from Howe on his availability, then he's probably in the don't buy, don't sell territory. Palmer on the other hand reportedly had a minor injury, which was likely the cause of the benching rather than tactical last match, so it's good in that sense. He's still a great pickup this week. Chelsea are away to Man United, but they're not looking like keeping clean sheets at the moment, and as we know, Chelsea have got a crazy run of games from Gameweek 16. Although Odegaard and Martinelli make the table, it's questionable whether they're worth the price tags at the moment. Odegaard has 6 returns this season, and he's the better of the two. Martinelli has 3 returns. Saka's the one though, with 5 goals, 7 assists, for 12 returns in 14 played. Lastly, Hwang also deserves a mention. He's a great transfer this week for only 5.6 mil. He appears to be on pens, having taken their last one, and he's got the 2 home games we mentioned earlier up next, Burnley and then Forest. Could be the perfect time to hop off an asset like Douglas Luiz, who does have Man City and then Arsenal after. Rounding things off with the forwards, Haaland top as expected with 6.4 projected points. So as a reminder, Salah on 7.9, Son 7.0. He looked absolutely furious after the Spurs game, having played the ball over the top to Grealish, who looked 1-on-1 in the 95th minute, only for Simon Hooper to blow the whistle, thinking no advantage had been gained on a foul just before. There's speculation he could receive a ban for swearing at the referee, and he didn't do himself any favours with a tweet highlighting the decision after the match. We have seen other players get bans for similar things, like Van Dijk this season. Hopefully nothing comes of it though. Unless you're in the no Haaland gang, then I'm sure you'd take that. Whether that rage translates to a big performance at Villa Park remains to be seen. At the very top level, they're always looking for that added motivation for the extra 10%. Could be a very open game given how Villa set themselves up, and Rodri missing from Man City. That could also benefit Watkins, who's projected 4.3 points for that matchup. Darwin is second among the forwards this week with 5.2, however the question is, will he start against Sheffield United? Again, he's probably a don't buy, don't sell this week. He played the full match against Fulham. There is a possibility of Gakpo getting a start ahead of him. Isak's the one to tread carefully around now. The latest update on Wilson is that he's reportedly getting close to return, which will equate to the two sharing minutes after he's back. With that all in mind, it's unlikely most of us are going to be making a striker transfer this week. However, Semenyo deserves a mention. The 4.6 mil Bournemouth forward scored against Villa for his 5th return of the season. It looks like the superior pick to Archer now, and perhaps even Wood as well. Wood failed to take a shot against Everton last match, 2 starts in a row for him but 2 blanks. He could certainly still come good, and he's one to consider for 4.9 mil as well. If this video was helpful, please hit like before you go. Let's try and hit 1k likes before the deadline. We're also closing in on 170,000 subscribers as well, so help us reach that if you enjoyed the video. See you soon for the next one.